My name is Tommy Lanham. I'm a professional speaker and life coach and enthusiasm catalyst.
Here we go.
Tell me about your academic success in elementary school.
I had no academic success in elementary school. School, for most of my academic career, was always a struggle for me. And I was a C student at best. I never believed I could be anything better than that, at least not on a consistent basis. I always enjoyed going to school. I was never one of these kids that wanted to stay home or wanted to skip class. Matter of fact, I enjoyed the 6th grade so well, I took it twice. But I just never excelled academically.
Tell me about your academic success in middle school, or as we called it back then, junior high.
Well, the way our system was set up in Laurel County, Kentucky, was I went from 1st grade to 5th grade in Keavy Elementary School. And then I went 6th and 7th grade at Lilly Elementary School. Now, today, 6th and 7th grade is considered middle school. But the way our system was set up, 6th and 7th grade was still at elementary school. And then junior high was actually 8th and 9th grade in our system. I know it's weird because 9th grade you're a freshman and all that. It was a weird system. But that's the way ours was set up. And so 8th and 9th grade is when I left Lilly Elementary and went to Laurel County Junior High School. And to be honest with you, all throughout that time, my academic achievement was pretty much standard. I was a C student at best, as I said before, and that's all I ever saw myself as being. Oftentimes I was referred to as being lazy, and I just kind of accepted that label. Knowing what I know now and looking back on that, I realized that it wasn't laziness, it was perception. It was the mindset I had of myself. And we will never consistently perform in a way that is different than the way we perceive ourselves.
Okay, so tell me about your academic success in high school.
Well, it's interesting that you asked about my high school experience. Again, I was still in the same school system there at Laurel County High School in Kentucky. On the day of my graduation from high school, and yes, I did graduate, I was up before anybody else, had a lot of family in for my graduation, but everybody else was still sleeping. I had to be at the school early, and my dad was the only other person up, and so we were kind of talking, and he looked at me and he said, "Boy," and I knew my dad was serious whenever he said boy, but he said, "Boy, I never thought I'd live to see this day." Well, that'll give you confidence right there. But he had reason to feel that way because I never did well academically. Not in elementary school, not in junior high, not in high school. I did enough to be able to progress to the next grade, even though in 6th grade it took me 2 tries to do that. But I kept progressing, but I just never did well. And I remember the time in high school, I was very active in show choir and in our choir as well. And Sue Wright, Mrs. Wright, was my teacher. And I always loved Mrs. Wright and always felt like she loved me as well. And we had a performance at the World Chicken Festival in Laurel County in London, Kentucky. And our choir was performing at this. And I found out that week that I could not participate because my grades were too low to be involved in extracurricular activities. And I just remember the disappointment in her face, in her eyes, when I told her that. And that was hard. That was hard, that disappointment. But that was my academic experience. I never saw myself as somebody who could be this A, B student. C student at best, and if I slacked off just a little, that failed. my dad had reason to feel that way. But the odd thing about it is I guess I was glutton for punishment, because I'd already made the decision at that point that I was going to college. Not because I wanted more punishment in academic studies, but I did feel like I had a call on my life from God to go into ministry, and God, understanding how dumb I was at the time, also called me to go to Bible college in order to prepare for that ministry.